Alright everyone, it is Finn here, welcome back to another video, and welcome back to another African Cup of Nations video. It has been absolutely forever since I've done one of these, and I've absolutely missed it. But of course, with AFCON 2024 only about 6 months away, it is time to bring them back. And of course, who better to talk about than the Atlas Lions, the Morocco National Football team. Because as we know, over the last 12 months, they've had a pretty good time, becoming the first ever African nation to reach the semi-final of the World Cup, which is a pretty big deal.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Of course, ending 4th place overall, having a decent AFCON 2022 in my opinion. I do think looking at this Moroccan national team, they are filled with some absolute superstars, and they do need to be spoken about. But of course, the big question is, heading into the 2024 AFCON competition, is are they the clear favourites to win it overall? And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Of course, guys, as I said, majority of my channel did grow over AFCON 2022, so of course, I'm looking forward to this channel possibly growing a tiny bit more. So if you guys do enjoy AFCON content, don't forget to subscribe down below, because I promise a lot of it is coming your way. But of course, look at the Moroccan national team. As I said, the first ever African nation to reach the semi-final of a World Cup, and within that, beating 3 nations in FIFA's top 10 rankings, with Portugal, Spain and Belgium. Now Morocco overall are sitting 11th place in the world rankings, which once again, it is the highest I've seen an African nation in a very long time, and I think they'll be quite happy with that. I do think heading into AFCON 2024, it all depends what groups they're placed in. As we know, qualifiers are still going on, but Morocco are cleared through to qualify anyway with 1 game remaining versus Bafana. But looking at this Moroccan national team, I think people underestimate how strong they've been for quite a while now. I mean, if you look back at the 2022 African Cup of Nations, they obviously topped their group, but they did go out in the quarterfinals to eventual finalists Egypt. And going out in the quarterfinals, let's be honest, people seem to forget about you.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
But going out to Egypt, who did reach the final, conceding a goal in the 110th minute, Morocco definitely weren't bad in that competition. They obviously had some managerial and coaching problems. Obviously, they used to have the likes of Vahid, who had some personal problems with some players, mainly Mizraoui and obviously Ziyech. But ever since his departure from the club, getting the likes of, once again, sorry for any pronunciation errors here, Walid Regragui.
Who?
Sorry, that is definitely not right. I do think this team has been a bit more, complete. I do think there's been a tiny bit more camaraderie. I do think this team, as a team, plays very, very well, and the individuals are absolutely brilliant. Obviously, we don't know who's going to play who in the competition yet, as the groups have not been made yet, as not everyone has qualified yet. But I'm not going to say it's going to be easy for this Moroccan national team, because there is a lot of top quality in Africa at the moment. And I do think world football is starting to recognize that a tiny bit more. I mean, just looking at some of the nations who are competing against Morocco for AFCON. Obviously, you've got Ghana, some brilliant players there. They had some top performances at the World Cup. You've got the likes of Cameroon, who did beat Brazil. You've got Tunisia, who beat France. You've got the likes of Nigeria, some of the best players in world football at the moment. And you've got previous AFCON winners, Senegal. There is so much quality in Africa at the moment, and it's not going to be easy for Morocco. But I do think out of all teams, they might have the best chance.
Them's fighting words.
I mean, if you just look at some of the individuals in this Moroccan national team at the moment, obviously, in terms of a goalkeeper, they do have Bounou, who I would say has been one of the best goalkeepers in Europe this season. At the World Cup, arguably after that brilliant shootout and after some top performances, maybe was the best goalkeeper in that competition. And just won Sevilla another, well, once again, it's a common thing, but another Europa League. They essentially own their competition after yet again another brilliant shootout. In terms of defenders, as we know, they've got Aguiar, who's reached the Conference League final, along with Amrabat for Fiorentina. So once again, whoever wins between West Ham and Fiorentina, there will be a Moroccan winner there.
I see this as an absolute win.
Obviously, looking at Aguiar, absolutely brilliant. They've got Romain Saiss, one of the best leaders in world football, and I think goes heavily underrated as a centre-back. You've got Hakimi, you've got Mizraoui, 2 of the best creative fullbacks in world football, along with a lot more depth. Once again, there are so many players I could mention. In terms of midfielders, obviously, as we know, either one of their wingers, if you want to put Boufal or Ziyech as an attacking midfielder, they can do that. But as central midfielders, Amrabat, brilliant season with Fiorentina, and this will be his 2nd final with the club this season.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
They've obviously got the likes of Amala, once again, has earned a move to La Liga. They've got 1 or 2 other brilliant players. They've got Anahi, who earned a big move to Marseille. Once again, people seem to forget how much top quality there is in this Moroccan national team. You can point at absolutely any position within that team, and it is a player playing for a top club, doing extremely well at the moment. Obviously, in terms of attackers, as we know, in Yesri was vital for Sevilla winning the Europa League, scoring 4 goals in 9 games. Obviously, looking at him in La Liga, a tiny bit slower, 8 goals in 31 games. But other attackers, as we know, Ziyech, although slow for Chelsea, is an absolute magician when it comes to set pieces for Morocco. Obviously, they've got Boufal, who across 2 teams he's played for the season, 7 goals and 5 assists in 22 games. I cannot believe how absolutely brilliant this Moroccan national team is, and they deserve so much more credit.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
But as we know, it's not just about individuals in a single spot. It's about how they play as a team. And under Walid, I think it's been such a good team that really know how to play together. He really knows how to get the best out of his players. I do think they kind of get a bad rap as a Moroccan national team, that they play a defensive style of football.
You shall not pass!
But I think it's just depending on who they play against. They just seem to play against teams who are really good on the attacking front and really good at possession, like Spain, like Portugal, like Belgium. I think at the end of the day, they are not a defensive team, but they're good at defense, but they are good at the counter-attack. And when they do have the ball, they almost play a tiki-taka style of play. They're very good with their passing, and I think out of all African nations, they most resemble a European style of football in terms of how good they really are.
No, he's got a point.
I think this is the first African national team I've seen in a long time that I genuinely thought could have won the World Cup. And I think the world almost had their backing. They almost had the world's backing at the World Cup. Once again, some of the performances they put in were super solid. I mean, you look at some of the depth in their squad. Having Al Yamex as a spare centre-back in their team, as a backup centre-back, obviously played 6 games at the World Cup at the end of the day, and getting 4 clean sheets. There was only 1 game at that World Cup where Morocco did concede before obviously getting to the playoff spots, and the only goal they conceded in their group was an own goal. This Moroccan national team is truly something special, and heading into AFCON, depending who they get in their group, they are super solid. Once again, I do think they are going to rest players in their last AFCON qualifier versus Bafana. Depends whether they really want to set things down, obviously if they want to confirm first place in their group. But this Moroccan national team, as I said, time in and time out, it's so special to watch, and I can't wait to see what they do next. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is essentially it for today's video. Yes, I know it's a very short video and a tiny bit random in terms of what I spoke about, but I just wanted to talk about this Moroccan national team and what I think they're capable of. Once again, I'll talk a tiny bit more about them once the groups are released, once the qualifiers are done and all of that. I will give a full prediction, and I will talk about what their best team heading into the competition will be. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you did enjoy this video. As I said, if you are looking forward to some more AFCON content, don't forget to subscribe down below, don't forget to leave a like, and yeah, hopefully we'll see something special from the Atlas Lions. Let me know who you want me to talk about next. Finn, FYNN, cheers.